What if you could automate your job? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Zack Stevenson. I'm a business process and no-code consultant. If you need help streamlining or automating any of your business processes, you can visit our website, InnerDevSolutions.com, or you can click the link in the description below to book a free consult. Application process from start to finish, including analyzing resumes with AI. I'll show you how to do this with Fillout, SmartSuite, and Relay. Check it out. Before we jump in, I want to let you know that this is going to be a two-part video. The first part here is going to be about obtaining the application information in the resume, those types of details, and getting them from Fillout forms into your SmartSuite database, and using Relay.app to analyze the resume using AI. In the next video, I will show you how to automate the scheduling process based off of the different interviewers that you may have and the job type that the applicant is applying for. Make sure you check out the video that will be coming in the next couple of weeks. But to jump into it, we will need 3 tools, and there's links in the description below for all 3 tools if you do not have an account already. So that's SmartSuite, Fillout, and Relay.app. First one is SmartSuite. I already have the SmartSuite database or solution built out, and actually most of this is based off of a template for this demo. Every company might have a slightly different process or different information that they need to obtain, but actually the template that SmartSuite provides is pretty solid for a starting point. There's only going to be 2 tables that we're going to start with today. That's going to be positions, and then you have, of course, applicants. The next 2 tables will be used in a following video. So really quickly here, we have positions, job title, status, target start date, employment type. You can add really whatever information you want and that's relevant to that job. And then, of course, we have a linked record field. This field here links to the applicants so that when an individual wants to apply for the job or a job, they can select one that is available from this list and they will be linked. We'll jump into applicants real quick. On the surface, we just have the name, so the applicant name. We have a status, the resume, which is a file and attachment type, and then the interview stages. This will be used later on. It's linked to the interviews table. And if we expand a record here, there's going to be some information that we will obtain using Fillout forms. But basically, we got positions, source, referred by, the date applied, notes. This will be more of an internal field, but phone, email, resume attachment, and those types of fields. As I mentioned, there is a template in the SmartSuite template area, but there's a couple things that we'll need to add to this table, and one of them being the Fillout ID. So this is just a plain text field type, and we want to add the Fillout submission ID back into SmartSuite for referencing purposes that you will see. Also, I made a change, so I've got the LinkedIn URL. SmartSuite does have a LinkedIn field type or a socials field type, but it doesn't integrate nicely with Relay or with Fillout. So I just created a simple URL field. And then resume analysis. This is a long text or a text area. If I hit add, it's this field here, a text area field type. And this is where Relay.app will take a look at the PDF or the resume PDF, use AI to analyze it, and then add the output back here. So that's everything on the SmartSuite side. We can jump into Fillout now. If you don't have an account, go ahead, set one up, link in the description below, and then you can come in here, create a new Fillout form, and then select this connect with whatever tool you use. And again, this same process that I'm going to demonstrate can be done in Airtable. It's mostly the same, but I'm using SmartSuite for this tutorial. And you'll have to authenticate and connect your accounts, but that's really easy. If it's not connected, it will walk you through the process. I'll just pick a light theme, hit next, and this is where I was just mentioning you have to connect or authenticate an account. And you can see I'm already connected to my demos account in SmartSuite, but if you were not, there'll just be a connect account button. You'll select it and it will walk you through the process. Quite simple. So now we can hit next. I can choose my solution, which we can see here is called hiring process. You can select an app or a table, which in this case, I want to choose applicants. and I will create this form. Call this a job application. Just going to note it as a demo for myself, and I'll hit continue. And we can see on the left side, based off of the table that we just selected, it's brought in different fields that are available to be added to the form that are found within this table. And if I expand the record, it should show most of these fields, but some of them do not work well with Fillout, so they do not show up here. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add a heading. Just call this contact details and maybe job application. I like putting the submit and next button on the right side, and you can make it whatever color that you want. I'm just going to leave it as blue. And the next thing I'm going to do is add in, if we go back to the SmartSuite fields, go down to the date applied, and I can go into the default value. I'll hit this reference, go down to dates, and just enter today. And by default, it will enter in today's date. And what I actually want to do is go into logic, and we will always hide that. So that won't actually show up to the applicant. It's just going to happen in the background and be submitted for us. Next step, we need to add more of the contact details. So if I scroll down, we can see there's a name, a phone, an email address, the referred by field as well. And in this step, we can also add in the source. Where did this applicant hear about the job posting? And then if we select the name, we can go over and select required. Same with the phone. If you want to make that required, you can. There's different settings. If you want to add a default country, you can do that as well. And the email will be required. And these last two are going to be optional. We'll go down to the bottom where it says page. We'll rename this to contact details. And then right beside it, there is an add page button, and we will add a new form. And this can just be called application details. Similar to what we did on the first page, I'm going to add a heading, and we'll just call this, again, application details. I'm going to move the button over to the right side, go back to SmartSuite fields, and add in the details related to the actual application information. Position is one thing that we'll want to add. We'll want to add in the LinkedIn URL if they have that. That can be optional, but the position, I want that to be required, and resume needs to be required as well. Now, if we click this add, we can see that by default, it brings in a bunch of different fields. We don't need all of those. If we go down to the advanced tab, we can go in and sort by field, which will just be, we'll use job title and the fields to show. I just want to display the job title for that as well. If you want to search, you can add in the job title there. Back into SmartSuite, we'll go into positions. We'll see the status here. If we open up that status, the only time that we want to allow a applicant to select a position is if the status is open for applications. So if I go back into Fillout on the position, we'll add a filter, condition, and we'll select the status field. And then if that is equal to, and we'll just enter in some static text, insert. So if the status is equal to open for applications, it will show up in this list. So we can see here, we have the CMO position and the sales manager position are both open for application. Now, if I hit the add button, it will only display those two job titles. Last page on ending, we can leave this as thank you, change it to whatever you want, and maybe we will be in touch, and you can add anything else here that you like as well. Now, as I mentioned from the start, every company will operate a little bit differently. So depending on the details that you need or your specific process, you might need to change things up a little bit, but this will get us started. We can go in and publish this form now. One thing I need to add here, if we go into integrate, we can click this edit on the SmartSuite button, scroll down to the bottom, and if we search for the Fillout ID, so this is a SmartSuite field, then we can map the submission ID to it. We'll just hit update, and we go back to edit, and we'll just need to publish that one more time. Now, if we hit this button, it will open up the form, and now we can enter in some information. I'll just quickly go in and add in contact details. Here we can add a position, select sales manager. We can add in a LinkedIn URL if you want, and we can upload a resume. And I just have a sample resume that I'm using. Hit submit, And now it has been submitted to my SmartSuite database. If I go into applicants, we can see the John Smith record has been added. So now if I open up that record, I can see all of the information that was submitted. I can see the resume, I can see the contact's phone number, their email address, their name, all of those types of details. And the next step, what I actually want to do is go into Relay.app and we can create a new workflow. The trigger, we're going to go in, search Fillout. Again, you'll have to connect Relay to Fillout and to SmartSuite to be able to integrate with those two tools, but it's a very similar process to connecting Fillout to SmartSuite. The trigger is going to be a new submission. Now I need to select that form, which is job application demo. Now there's optional filters where what we could do here is say only if the resume field is not empty, but on the Fillout form, we actually have that required. So the resume field has to be there. We won't worry about that in this case. First step, we are going to find the related record in SmartSuite. SmartSuite, find records, and then we'll have to go select the table. If we go into demos, hiring process, and we can go into applicants. Records should return, and it's just going to be the first matching record because it will definitely be unique. We'll add a filter. We'll search Fillout ID, and we want to make sure that matches to the submission ID. The behavior, if no records are found, it's going to fail, but it should always find a record. And then more than one record is found, we're just going to pick the first one because it will only find one. So we can actually test this. Hit test here, and we can see that it found the John Smith record. Now the next step, we'll go in, search OpenAI, and we are going to prompt GPT-4o Mini, and the latest variant is fine. And then I just have a sample prompt that I've created here. You're going to have to play with this and make it work for your company. But I'm just going to paste in a random one here that ChatGPT actually wrote for me. Analyze this resume for blank job title. And this is where we are actually going to add in a variable. Here we have analyze this resume for, in this case, it's going to be a sales manager, and provide actionable feedback, evaluate, and then we have some instructions for it. Again, this is where you're going to need to add information that's relevant or prompts that are relevant to your company. And then we can attach some data, which is going to be, we can use the select specific fields from the submission, and we'll just use the resume there. That's just a PDF that we're going to upload to the model. We'll just specify this one manually, call this resume analysis. The type is going to be text, and I'm not going to worry about additional instructions. I'll hit save. And if the model returns an error, we're just going to show an error and notify the run owner. That's fine. And we can go in and add another step, which is going to be SmartSuite, and we will update a record. And the record we're going to update is the one that we found. The field, we type in resume analysis, and we can hit this plus symbol from the AI output and add in the resume analysis. Now, there's a lot more steps that we can add to this. If we want, we could notify a specific stakeholder in Slack or by email, whoever needs to review this information next. You can add in those additional steps quite easily. But for this video, I'm just going to stop here and upload the information back into SmartSuite. So now if we think through this entire process, if everything was turned on, what would happen is we have our SmartSuite solution here. The job application form would be posted on our website or wherever you're going to be getting your job applicants from. They will enter their details here. Once they hit submit, it will be automatically added into SmartSuite. And within a few moments, it should trigger a run, assuming it's been turned on. It should trigger a run in Relay, and it will go through each of these steps and add the information back into SmartSuite. We've already submitted a job application through Fillout. It's been added to SmartSuite, and now we can start a test run on that submission. So we can create this test run, and we will click this button, and we can see it's going to go through each step. Within a few moments, it's been marked as complete. So if I go back into SmartSuite, go down to John Smith, expand that record. If we scroll down, we can see that there is now content in the resume analysis section, and the AI model correctly extracted data from the resume that I uploaded. Again, the output that you're going to receive here is going to depend completely on the data that you upload to it, so the resume, and also the prompt and information that you provide to the model. Now, as I mentioned, there's going to be a follow-up video to this one that shows you how to automatically schedule interviews with the applicants that you approve. But that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit the subscribe button for more tutorials in the future.